Hey guys, welcome to part 6, the hopefully final part of this Chillheart Nightblade. So we're level 99. Have to finish things like Malmuth, Forgotten Gods, farm some gear, SR set, Lokar, all that fun stuff. Unyielding of Vitality and Glacial Protection I think are reasonable. Rime Frost of Protection isn't bad, it just could be better. I also I want to check Grim Tools to see if I got a... because a Protection is a 94 suffix, I'm pretty sure. So I want the max armor. And I think I may have a level 84 item base. Yeah, 1300 is the max, so we want to get that. Impervious to the Winter Storm seems good. Rune Carved, Mending is not great. And this random Impervious Chest of Nature's Bounty. Thunderstruck of Vitality, like... This is... like, our gear is actually not unreasonable. What's our percent cold? Okay, our percent cold is over 2,000. Alright, a Vindictive Flame for a one-pointer is giving us a ton of value. And we do want to ultimately get better gloves. I think that's sort of the main thing. So... and we may do higher-end components as well. Trap res is 71. We can probably afford to have that go down a little bit. Use a living armor instead, but... okay. So all of our trap res is basically coming from the boots and the chest component. Asimov, welcome in. This is the, yeah, non-mythical, so that we're definitely going to sell. Hey, welcome in, Susie. Dreadlords of Protection, Prismatica Supreme. A bunch of reasonable Gala strength. I think Unyielding of Vitality and Glacial of Protection are kind of in the given Gallus. It's not the most fun farm. I think that's about as good as we can reasonably hope. Alright. Let's farm Namadea a bit. Impervious of Fallen Skies. So we get way more Pierce Poison res that we don't need. We lose some DA. We get some OA. We get more armor. We get more damage. Like it's fine. It's just not spectacular. And I think if we can, we also want to see if we can get a better Spectral Longsword. Like, Chilled of Shattering would be great. Yeah, we are so close to getting Nemesis with Barrow home as well. Which hopefully we can get to Namadea before we spawn Reaper, because I don't really feel like fighting Reaper. Impervious of Amarasta's Flurry. Amarasta's Flurry has slow res, which is pretty nice. Do we... yeah, we actually kind of need slow res. Rhyme-Frost has reduced freeze, which we're overcapped on, so we can get rid of that, I think. The slow res is better. We really don't need the resistances, but... See, now we're sort of in this dilemma where if we take the Impervious there, we open up something to replace this chess piece with something that's, you know, basically as long as it has cold damage and health. So Amarasta's Flurry is Chaos Res as well, right? Yeah. And we don't need the Ellie Res, so yeah. So look for better chests and better gloves. We can use that helm potentially. Magi chest from Tomb of the Heretic. Do I want to farm that? Let's hold on. ABB black converts cold to acid. Can't take that. So welcome in, Viley. But yeah, that's an absolute no. No, if only. Is there anything that converts to cold? Let's see. Mythical Night Hunter's chest guard. Well, that converts fire to cold, but whatever, that's fine. Cortosian chest guard converts piercing to cold, which is potentially pretty nice, actually. But so yeah, there's nothing really great that I can think of. I think this might just be a farm totems and see what happens situation. Yeah, they're level 84 base. Pierced Elemental isn't amazing because we don't really like the fire and lightning, but it's like 8% extra pierce to cold, sort of, is how I'm thinking about it right now. Like, I mean, Fire Strike is already almost all cold. There's a tiny bit of lightning and other stuff, so it's not that bad. But yeah, let's do some totems. So... let's see if the totem is over here. Does not appear to be there. Okay. Meant to go Old Arcovia. Revered. Oh, yeah, we may have... What are we looking at here? Star Pact is useless. Blade Spirits and cold damage could be nice. Let me see. +3 to Blade Spirits, Chaos, LA, Slow Res, Health. This is Poison, Aether, Slow, and Health. No useful skills. Alright, not enough iron, so either way we need money, but this is not an unreasonable option. It's more health, it's more chaos res, and we can afford to lose the Pierce and Poison because we'll have the Impervious of Almaras's Flurry and Amadeus Horns. But yeah, let's do some totems and see what else drops, because we do want to maybe get some other stuff that's good. Well, I have played a few Spellbreakers in my day, it is true. Yeah, that's very true. Does Coven have cold damage for anything? Let's see. Well, they do have some stuff that does cold damage, just nothing that supports skills. So yeah, the other thing is that there are some blue items that can potentially drop that wouldn't be bad for us either. The 3-piece bonus is a bunch of extra flat and like percentage fire. So I think the 3-piece bonus for Justicar is pretty good, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah, I would probably go with that. Oh yeah, I think the other thing that we could farm is the Murderer's Chest, which is plus to dual blades and Shadow Strike. Like, that might actually be worth farming. Yeah, let's do some Cronley farming. So, I mean, that is an obvious choice. It has, I think, acid to pierce, but we don't really care about that since we don't have much of, if any, acid damage. And we're not using lethal assault on this build. Okay, Shrewd of Attack is not going to cut it. But this is at least a reasonable thing to farm. The problem may be getting good affixes on the Murderer's Chest because we don't care about retail and we don't care about pierce damage. +2 Shadow Strike, +2 Thermite Mine. Um, Rip trap res, but possibly interesting. Well, at the very least, you can compare and see which one you like better. I haven't been. Maybe we'll check to see if he's in the easiest spawn location. So I don't know if I want to run through all of all 3 locations, but it's a thought. Breastplate of, I mean, we don't need prismatic. If Amarasa's flurry is not bad. Yeah, prismatic is pretty worthless. But yeah, if Moneybags Martin is in the first spawn location, that's a good idea. That's worth it. It may even be worth it in the other locations, but yeah, we'll start doing that. Do we do the? We might as well do the totem. See if anything interesting drops. So yeah, Martin and Totem if they're inconvenient spawns, and then head back out. Impervious of spines. Thing is, we don't really need impervious at all, so give me damage, give me health, give me something. But impervious is totally pointless. So we have multiple things that have impervious on them already. Mighty Prowess is also not going to cut it. I haven't seen the latest iteration of it. But I saw some of what I was doing with it last. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I did that as the Ring of Steel thing as Infiltrator. I think I saw at one point as OA was 4K, which obviously you're going to be getting a lot of crits. And yeah, then you have all the crit bonuses. Totem. Then, hang on 1 second. This is... It doesn't have any health, so that's a bit of a letdown, but... And we're not using Lethal Assault because we just don't have the points. But it is a bunch of Fizz Res. It is damage, so... I think we're still going to farm for Murderer pieces for a bit. But that is an option. Consecrated of Protection and Mythical Cortosian Chest Guard in one fell swoop. Let's continue this farming run. Just finish anything. No, those are epaulets. Shoulders don't matter. All right, let's swap a couple of things out. Let's this has Pierce converted to cold, which is kind of massive, actually. It doesn't have health. This has a ton of health and DA. This is a little bit of OA. I mean, this is +3 dual blades and Shadow Strike. All right, let's see. This is 83k. This is 86k. So this is more damage. It's also slow res. So yeah, let's see. We probably drop dual blades back down to 16. Drop Shadow Strike. This is going to free up a bunch of skill points, which is also very useful for us. I mean, the Pierce to Cold is nice, but yeah, 83k DPS for Fire Strike, and like it's better, but not that much better. So yeah, let's... Oh, right, we don't have a Spirit Guide here anymore. We'll make a diamond. Arcane Spark. Wrathstone. Is it Radiant Gem? Or, hold on. It is Radiant Gem, okay. So Dense Fur, Molten Skin, Rigid Shell. Radiant Gem. Prismatic Diamond, okay. Diamond and Helm. Trap Res is 47, which is basically this. Still want to do something about the Runic Bracers. Yeah, rip Chaos Res if we do this. It's massive, massive damage upgrade though. Like it's insane amounts more damage. We just need to figure out the Chaos Res, I guess. This is Ellie's Skill Disruption and Trap Res, and what were the other boots we had? Pierce Aether Slow. Well, if we do double living armor, then that's actually going to solve our Chaos Res problem, I think. Living armor. Rip all of our blooms for the moment. But keep item. And let's go to Salile, get some more augments. Did not mean to accidentally drink an XP pot, but that's kind of okay. Let's see. Alright, Chaos Res is only 75, so we're not quite where we want to be for that. We're still using a Black Tallow. Oh yeah, we can also... Good. Can probably drop this to soft cap. We do have full fire to cold conversion, but 98,000. Let's see if we just. All right, we'll put as many points into Fire Strike as we can. Okay, Pierce is way over. Yeah, basically everything except Chaos Res is in good shape here. Unyielding of Vitality, it's a ton of health. Glacial Protection, DA, and let's see, is there a better Gallus Ring that we have? Maybe we farm Gallus a bit more.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left. Iron well spent.
Safe storage, no question.
Alright, I'm going to dump a bunch of these Gallus Rings just... and let's see, Rune Carved is giving me Elemental Res, which I don't really need. Devastating Vitality is giving me way more health, and it's giving me Chaos Res. We lose a little bit of damage, but... Wait, what? Oh, this reset my Pneumatic Burst. Okay, we lose a tiny bit of damage, but we get a bunch of health and we fix our Chaos Res. I think that's sold. The Chaos Res is now fixed. Our health is in better shape. We can... Probably Anti-Venom Salve is still fine. Like, our DA is reasonable now. We don't really need the poison too much, but the armor's is nice. We've got Cold Stone, Seal of Annie, Diamond, Living Armor, Black Tallow. It's for attack speed. Like, yeah, attack speed 191. Our health regen is not terrible either. Lifesteal 25%. That seems pretty good. Alright, let's actually... Let's actually play a little bit of the campaign. Oh yeah, and we are going to ultimately want Amatok on our metal. I think it's impervious to the Winter Storm is good enough, but we'll go to the next Rift Gate and then we'll upgrade our metal augment. I mean, look, we're a Saboteur. We have 2k damage. We have 2800 DA plus OA Shred from Rumor and Veil of Shadow. So effective DA is over 3000. OA is 2900. Could be better, could be worse. We could get a better Spectral Longsword. I think that's the one last thing we might try. See if we get a Shield of Shattering. But we're only going to farm so hard for that. Yeah, we're messing around with equipment. We must have deactivated our Blade Spirits. Fortunately, you realize that quickly. Alright, make sure the area is clear. Go around this way just in case. And unsummon Blade Spirits. Okay, no zombie there. Check location 2. Found the zombie. Alright, so we're going to give the gifts here to open up this portal. And we'll worry about that later. Okay, reactivate Blade Spirits. And we are going to farm Radlith for a bit as well, see if we get a better Spectral Longsword. Like, Chilled of Alacrity is serviceable. We need something with attack speed. But, you know, Glacial of Alacrity would be better, as would, Chilled of Shattering. So, yeah, Glacial of Shattering would be basically GG, but that's not going to happen. And of course, we're also in an area where enemies can drop level 84 bases. So even if we get the item we want, no guarantees. Okay, Radlith, you don't have the weapon. Bloodgrove Vendor is also an option, though getting a good thing that's actually an upgrade over Chilled of Alacrity might be challenging vendor farming. So I feel like Radlith has a 1/3 chance of dropping what we need. And we can see beforehand, before we even fight him, if he has it. The triple rare would be about 500k, yeah. If one rare, one common, I think would be, what's that? It's like 200 to 300k, which we don't quite have. Like Glacial of Alacrity or Chilled of Shattering are fine rolls for us. Does not want to have a spectral longsword, does he? We'll farm. If we don't get a good version of this, we'll just we'll go without. But before we do Lokar and SR, I do want to see if we have a chance of an upgrade. But yeah. Pretty much everything is... I mean, there are improvements that could be made, but not improvements I reasonably expect to get. The blue gloves that do Vit to Cold are actually not bad either because they have the plus the execution, which is nice. They also do Vit to Cold, and we're using Wraith Scream as our weapon augment. So Wraith Scream is doing flat Vit, so between that and the belt, we're converting 89% of the flat Vit, which is pretty good for a SSF run, where you're not going to get perfect gear that does everything you need. Shield of the Sage. That is very sad. It's a rare suffix, not the one we want. Incanters of Alacrity. Not as good, looks like. Yeah. We'll do a few more of these, and then we'll go through the DLC. Malmoth and Forgotten Gods. Then we can do some more farming before we do a bit of SR and Lokar. Runecasters of Frostbite. Like, there's no way it's actually good, but we'll. Yeah, it's worse for Fire Strike, which is exactly what I suspected. Shield of the Sage is not going to be good. So one more run when he actually has a spectral longsword, and then we'll move on. Hold on. Shield of Arcane Balance is actually an upgrade. We lose some attack speed, but we get more percent cold and we get a bunch of flat elemental. We lose some of the pierce to cold conversion. All right, well, says it's a damage upgrade, so again, still not amazing, but let's get a cold stone. All right, let's go do some Mammoth. And next Rift Gate, let's remember that we want to get a better movement rune. Let's put Shadow Strike on left mouse now that we're done doing damage comparison. We might not actually have the component we need for the updated augment, so just keep moving along. We have Eldritch Essence, but it's the other component we need for the Amatok metal augment, I'm pretty sure. And that we seem not to have. Hang on, I'm curious about something. Death's Reach, did that get buffed? Ah, they gave it attack speed. That is pretty nice, actually.
I was beginning to read. I've spoken with Corinne.
Okay, we drop the portal there. We rescue everyone on our way, pick up Avanda's note, talk to Olgrim, and then we can get the other U quest.
So this is what good workout. You can do it. I believe.
Captain Wilford tells me that you. I was one. I'm talking about the.
Up to 6 shattered souls now. It's not bad. No. It's a nice side benefit to having to farm him.
Was the mission back before the city? High level affixes, low level base. Yeah, that's the worst. Still more armor than a low card chest, though. Just think, it could be worse. Interesting. That I did not know.
It's been a while since I've done this. I very well may be out of practice. All right, I'm clearly out of practice with Shadow Strike skips, so we're not gonna mess around with it too much.
Have the councilmen good. With them gone, Malmeth can begin to heal of the atrocity.
Tell me. So it is finished
Alright, now we kill the messenger.
It is too late.
Alright, we killed Kaimon just as his belly burst was going off.
How long do they think they should
Alright, so he got his meteors off, and then he basically died from dots. Alright, you're gonna get a shortened vulnerability phase. And you're dead. See, a new celestial essence, which we do need if we wanted to craft the superior movement rune. Oh well.
Korvax, his cult has been crushed. Even now, his scattered followers.
Alright, we can get one legendary from Riggs just for, oh. Celestial Lotus, is that a quest reward for killing Korvac? Because that is pretty nice. Avatar of Mercy is a good defensive medal. Obviously, we're not going to use it here, but I think we need a Cold Stone and a Wrath Stone for this. Amatok. Do you need anything else? And Polished Emerald. So, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, Impervious to the Winter Storm. That's definitely good enough. And we will take Amatok's Breath. Perfect. Alright, we'll spend a little more time seeing if we can get a really good Spectral Longsword. And then the last two things on our checklist for an SSF build are to do an SR14 run and to do Lokar. So probably spend about half an hour farming. Well, that's good, Viley. That makes if you can kill Galacros and 50-50 he drops the right one, that makes life easier. Alright, and we should let them know we kill the messenger as well. Yeah, that is pretty nice. That does not look like a spectral longsword, so yeah, and it's not. The new UI, I believe, is still in playtest branch. So if you opt into the playtest and such, you could use it. Otherwise, it's still the old version. If you do opt into the playtest, make a backup of all of your save files, because once you update to the playtest, you basically can't go back. The only way you could potentially is if you have a full backup. But so be aware of that. Yeah, it's definitely improvements for quality of life. For people who like the globes, it's nice to have that, but I'm kind of used to the old school, by Grim Dawn standards version of things. And the components tab is the other really nice thing. Frees up a bit of extra space, and also you can store at least 4 figures worth of components of each type, so you're not limited to 1,000 per inventory slot. And the thing is, once 1.3 is in public, there's also you're not gonna be able to go back to other versions, although you probably at that point don't really want to. Hey, welcome in, Miso. Yeah, exactly, Victor. If you like how Grim Dawn used to be, you click on the classic HUD in the options, which I have clearly done. I thought I saw a Spectral Longsword. I'm not 100% sure, but at this point we'll just charge in. Yep. At least the boss here has the decency to be level 107. So he's guaranteed to drop a 94. You found your favorite ink. That's good news indeed, Miso. Congratulations. Yeah, I think you mentioned that. It sounds like a cool color. Runecasters of Frostbite. Again, it's not what we want. +2 Thermite Mine is tempting, but not good enough.
Well, it sounds like the color name is accurate then, right?
Frostborn of Alacrity. Hold on. That, okay, so this is actually has better attack speed, but worse. Interesting. So, yeah, we need like Chilled of Shattering really to be better. Right, let's turn in the messenger quest. I didn't even know that there were 4,000 inks out there, so that woman is dedicated. Oh, by the way, go ahead, Misa, but you'll appreciate this. I've got the first... I got the second book of Malazan from the library. The first one isn't due back quite yet, but the first one is a mass market paperback. The second one is a hardcover, and looking at the two books side by side is just kind of funny. Yeah, see, I fully support buying out something if you know you want it and you don't know when you'll be able to get it again. If you have the money, why not? Shield of Ruin. Thanks, game. Yeah, makes perfect sense to me. Isn't making ink that dries one of the most basic things you're supposed to do when you make ink? Yeah, that seems like a problem. Rhyme Frost of Celerity. Well, that's just sad.
Nah, you're good. It's good to have hobbies. I mean, heck, that's why Twitch exists. Nope. And we'll try for the better Spectral Longsword. We'll keep going for a bit because in an ideal world you do want something better, but we can only go for so long before we eventually have to just suck it up, do SR, do low car, and let this build have its day. I don't. I've heard journaling is a great thing to do, but I just don't. I find for me the oh god, that's one more thing I have to do outweighs the benefit. I mean, that said, I do write pretty much every day. Obviously, like Monday through Friday, I write a lot more, and then Saturday and Sunday, I just try to put something down on into the word processor so that it's like the thing I've realized is that let's say you write, let's say you write 300 words a day on the weekend, which is like about a page in terms of depending on book margins and everything. That's 2 pages every weekend, which is 100 pages a year, assuming 50 weeks, which, depending on the size of the book, is between a third and a quarter of a book. So just by doing a little something each day on the weekend, even if it's not that much, it really adds up. But I think between today and yesterday, I wrote 6,900 words. If I remember, I'll take a glance. Appreciate the link. You can't see me, but I'm making an awful face at this roll for a Spectral Longsword, Enchanters of the Void. I mean, I know they have to not have the affix rolls be perfect because sometimes you never know when you might find some super weird roll that is great for a niche build, but I'm pretty sure no build ever is going to use an Enchanters of the Void Spectral Longsword. Yeah, journaling works really well for some people. I think most people would benefit from at least trying it and seeing if it's something that works for them. I just found for me the obligation aspect of it kind of ruins the benefit. That said, I do have an Excel spreadsheet where I kind of keep a record of what I've done in a day. So that's not journaling, but it's a form of keeping track of what you're doing in its own way. Rip 40k Iron Valley. You can always buy one if you don't need something else on your rings of the Devil's Crossing Aether pots. I forgot to actually check if he had the swords, so this might be wasted effort. It is indeed wasted effort. Most likely not, but also famous last words. Yeah, that's... Wait. -50 or -25? Obviously, both are significantly worse than 62, but yeah, those anthologies tend to be on the big side. I mean, neither one of those is great. Not not too often, Misa. No. So what happens with me is when I get a little bit burned out or exhausted is when I have to keep coming up with new builds to try. And I'm kind of running out of ideas. So like the pressure to I need to come up with the grim tools that I like is that can be a little bit draining sometimes, but doing an SSF run with a new weapon or something along those lines, there are a ton of these that I can do. They're very relaxed. The builds don't have to be perfect or up to the sort of usual standard I'd have. So it's just chill, and it's also, it's like 6 streams of Grim Dawn, so 3 weeks, so it's about 2 weeks. And then, by the time 2 weeks are up, we're back to being able to start a fresh character. If I want, I can always do a speed leveling run for fun too. So yeah, I think if I was constantly trying to come up with a new build to do every week, from scratch to end game with the right items, item assistant, and everything, that gets a little draining. But this is pretty chill, and I do play other games in between, so it's not like Grim Dawn's the only thing I'm playing. Like if I stream Grim Dawn every day, I would even doing this, I would 100% get burned out. I might do that for a few weeks when Fangs of Astrakarn comes out, just because there's going to be so much new gear and new content to explore that it won't feel that way. But yeah, right now with knowing all of the builds I've done and stuff I'm interested in that I haven't been able to figure out how to make it work, I don't really want to spend the time in Grim Tools. That would be a pain. Yeah, not having item assistant definitely. I mean, that's why I'm doing a lot of SSF stuff now. Viley, it's just it's a nice way to kind of get back to basics. Yeah, I mean, yes, Miso, but also when you've done over 100 hardcore level 100 characters, you've played most of the sets in the game except the ones you hate, and you've used a lot of MIs. At that point, the number of things that you have to work with to make a build are much more limited, and you still kind of want to make something that holds up to the same standards of the builds you typically make. So that does make it a little bit more draining. But yeah, you can easily come up with 20, 30, 40 Grim Dawn builds without too much trouble. But once you've done over 100 and you're looking to come up with more stuff, it's a bit of a different ballgame. Go for it. I think people who do... I think hardcore and PoE seems kind of crazy to me, but to each their own. Is that actually a thing? Or are there just some good PoE players who happen to do that? I mean, nothing would surprise me about that game, but you wish you were joking. Fair enough. There's no way to do anything with the graphics settings to make it less blinding. Alright, I think we'll have a few more shots at getting a Spectral Longsword. We're probably going to be stuck with the one that we have now. Is Radlith just going to sit there and not let me... Okay, you have a Spectral Longsword. Beautiful. Say, it was sitting there for a while. Shield of Fervor. So 10% chance of 207 physical damage. We have full fizz to cold on what do you call it? Oh, it never mind. It doesn't have attack speed. Forget it. I thought Fervor would have attack speed or more attack speed. So I was about to run the calculation for the fizz damage, but it doesn't matter. attack speed goes even lower. Chill of Arcane Balance is okay. It's probably, barring something miraculous in these next couple of runs, what we're going to finish the character out with. And we also need to get some looms to craft pots for Lokar. Still using homestead augments on the weapon. I mean, they occasionally have their use. Okay, Radlith. Come on, turn around. Oh, yeah, never mind. I was able to just barely see the corner of that character model, so he has a Spectral Longsword. Let's go. Rime Frost of Alacrity is probably not an upgrade, though. Yeah, it's not an upgrade. Okay, let's quick trip to get a few blooms for pots. Yeah, are you using that for endgame Miley or just now? Slash, does it depend on what else you find? We'll use an endgame as well, okay. I mean, you see me with Creed's Cunning all the time. Some of these level 50 weapon augments are actually pretty decent. Outcast augment. The only outcast augment I know, I think they have the one that has Vit damage OA in health and Aether damage OA in health. Other than that, I don't know too many of her augments.
Aether damage ratio to Ethereal's health in OA. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the one I like for some Aether builds. It's one of the ones that's nice if you need some extra health in particular, because a lot of the other Aether weapon augments, while very good, don't help you there. Alright, craft the pots. No good lightning retail weapon augment. Fair enough. Alright, so we do SR14 for the skill and attribute points. It's a Haunted Waystone.
The oracles of always.
Okay, brawling. And I'm armored, so I mean, I guess that's kind of fair enough. Cancels each other out. I still, to this day, have no idea what combination does what for this map. Alright, let's, there's an arcane and a lot of the enemies, but I guess we killed enough. I mean, our damage feels pretty good. Wraith of Sorrows, Bargles, Grand Priest Zarthuzelen. Zarthuzelen's always a little sketchy. Bargle, just come over here. Zarthuzelen, I don't really want to fight you in Aether Ground, so why don't you come over here. Okay, Void Touch, Bloodlord's Blade of the Abyss. That will hang on to. I'm sure we have other ones that are similar, but... One more point in spirit, and then, let's see. We have 3 skill points.
Let me clear your mind of regret.
And, how do we play this? Blast Shield up to 14. And we get 1 more point of total speed and Vindictive Flame. Alright, that should do. Alright, CC Res. Freeze is 76. Stun is good. Trap is fine. Petrify is good. Slow is good. Alright, I guess the final thing is to try Lokar. Remember to take our pots before we fight him. I don't bother with pots on like a full build, but on SSF run, I think Lokar in the post-Thunder world is worth respecting a little bit. We also are going to check to see if the mutators are particularly bad. Alright. He has more attack speed. I don't know if he actually scales on attack or cast speed. So we will do a full run to see if we get any Dark One pieces. Sometimes I forget to do this, but it's a good practice. Dark One set is a very good Vitcaster set, and you never know when you might want to throw it in on a build, so... Dark One's Mantle, alright. So we got the one that you have to go the farthest for. That is always a plus. Okay, let's drink our pots. Alright, we got Blast Shield. Cluster. See if we can do Blast Shield, Cluster, Blast Shield. Blast Shield again. 3, 2, 1. Alright, I am going to let Blast Shield come back and finish him that way. Well, he's basically dead anyway, but yeah. So Blast Shield, Cluster Blast Shield, nice, easy, chill, low car kill. Nothing to it. Blast Shield is actually pretty good against low car, because it absorbs so much more damage than something like Ascension or Seal. So yeah, that was a reasonably successful build. The ironic thing is I don't think Chillheart is the best weapon for this build, but the objective was to use Chillheart on this build, so here we are. So this is the Grim Tools of the version that killed Lokar. I will link this. Final Grim Tools. Be uploading these to YouTube. One of these days I will do some more guides on YouTube. I just been very busy writing and doing other things like that, working on a couple of books. So the making Grim Dawn content besides streaming and uploading the SSF runs to YouTube has definitely fallen dramatically by the wayside. Anyway, let's take a look and see if there's anyone on that we can send you guys to. Alright, looks like we got Rain in. I will send you guys on over to him. Last I checked, he's playing a Ring of Seal Blade Master that was pretty stupidly broken. Appreciate everyone hanging out. I will, tomorrow we'll be playing Red Dead Redemption 2, assuming there are no technology issues and everything works. Otherwise, we'll try something else, and then we will start a new Grim Dawn build on Saturday morning. So hope to see you guys there, and have a good one.